It's very nice, and it's an honor when people consider you a successful person. But that's not the most important thing in life. I've learned that what really, really matters is how you see yourself. And it took a while for me to recognize myself as a successful person, to like me the way I am, and to let go of the need to be perfect. Still working on that one, like we all are. But I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you my story as a top 10 list of what helped me understand that I am indeed a success. Number one, listen to your 12-year-old self when she tells you to make it a priority to do the stuff you love. I was 12 years old when I made a pact with myself, and it went kind of like this. You are just going to do the stuff you love in life, full stop. You're going to make a priority to do everything that you love. And at that time, the thing that I loved the most was swimming. Number two, no, I'm sorry, 9, 10, 9. Do the stuff that you love, it will take you far. So when I decided that I was going to swim, and I didn't decide that I was just going to swim. I decided that I was going to be a world-class swimmer. So when I decided that, I started swimming competitively, and pretty soon the results came in the shape of state champion and regional champion. And I just realized that I had to leave. It was too small for me. My town became too small, and I have to move to another state to train with a stronger team and a better coach. And so I did. So it started to take me far there, because I had to go to another team to train with another coach when I became national champion, and when I started to become part of the Brazilian national team. And eventually, this took me up north from Brazil, up north to the United States. So I arrived at Arizona State University, which was at the time one of the top 10 schools for swimming in the country. Number 8, find your support system, people that will help you grow, places that will foster your development, systems that will make it easier for you to do more of the stuff that you love. Discard the rest. And that was the time when I moved and I had to let go of my family. I had to leave them behind. I had to embrace a life of cooking for myself, organizing my bills, managing my money. For a 16-year-old, that was a pretty high order. But I did it. Remember, swimming was everything for me, and I would do everything for swimming. So when I got to Arizona State, I found all that. I found a fantastic support system, an amazing coach, great teammates, medical, nutritional, psychological, everything was in place. I was also studying there, which I didn't want to give up when I was in Brazil, because by the time you get to be 18 and you have to go to college in Brazil, you have to give up everything to just go to college. And I didn't want to do that. And the only place that it was possible for me to do both was the United States. So I trained in the US, and everything was pretty good and dandy, and I was very happy there. And then, number 7, you will fall. Make peace with that and try again. Olympic Games, Barcelona, 1992, strike one. I was swimming pretty fast. I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. By the time I was at Arizona State, I was ranked number 10 in the world in the 100 backstroke, which was my favorite stroke. But at the same time, I was also following another passion of mine, which is women's rights. And something was not going well in Brazil with women's swimming. The Brazilian Federation was deliberately boycotting all women's to international competitions. They were focusing on all their attention in the male swimmers, and the women swimmers were left behind. And I was very vocal about that because I was already in the US. I was already the best swimmer that they had in Brazil. And my duty was to speak up. So needless to say, I wasn't making friends in high places. The Brazilian Federation pretty much didn't like me and had to put up with me. After all, I was the best swimmer they had. So keep that in mind because trials came up for the Barcelona Games. And we had to swim in a certain time to make it to the games. Now, the Brazilian Federation had a different time that I had to swim at, which was the 8th place in the previous Olympics. Never a Brazilian swimmer had placed top 10 in the world and top 8 in the Olympics. It didn't matter. I was going to make it. I knew I was going to make it. But trials came, and sure enough, I did not swim that fast. I was far from the cut, the Brazilian cut, by this much. That's 1/10 of a second. And so, Barcelona was lost, and I had to watch the games from TV that year, that summer. It didn't matter. My way to work out all losses was, you know, get up, try again. I had Atlanta, 96, in 4 more years. So I was going to be fine. Number 6, you will fall again. Learn to forgive yourself for your failures and embrace them as your best teachers. Atlanta, 96, strike 2. Fast forward 4 years, and the same thing happened. I was swimming my best times. I was on an upward, going up and swimming fast, and just ready to make it to the games. There was nothing that was going to stop me. I was ready for it. And at that time, I wasn't in Arizona anymore. I was in Florida with a fantastic support system. Again, I had a phenomenal coach, and I had 4 teammates from Canada and another teammate from Macedonia. So the 6 of us were going to make it to the games together. We call ourselves NRG team. And we flew across the globe to swim, and it was a phenomenal, phenomenal journey. So trials came, right? And again, I had to face the same cut, impossible time to make from the Brazilian Federation. Not a question in my mind that I could make it. So trials came, I swam, and again, history repeats itself. The ghost of Barcelona came back, and because of this much, I didn't make it again. 1/10 of a second, again. It was almost like a curse. I didn't know what was going on. And this time, it was a little bit different. My reaction was different because I knew that I didn't have 4 more years. I was 26. I was done with swimming. I knew I was already looking at my next path, what I was going to do next. And swimming wasn't in it. So this was it. My dream shattered, gone, just like that. And the Brazilian Federation, again, didn't make it easier on me. 10th in the world, the times were getting better. For sure I was going to swim faster at the Olympics. For sure I was going to deliver. But no, I chose to speak up against injustice. I chose to speak up for women swimming in Brazil, and that cost me the Olympic Games. I know that because the following year, another backstroker from Brazil did not make the cut, and they took her to the Olympics. She swam very close to the cut, but they took her. So it was personal, but that's life. It happens. So at that time, I had to find a new way to cope with this loss. And something very interesting happened. I really went down and felt everything that I had to feel. All my feelings, all my frustrations, all the sadness, everything. I went down into a depression. I went to the bottom. And I allowed myself to feel those feelings. You know, I allowed myself to understand that this was it, that everything that I worked for was gone in my mind at the time. So the metaphor I like to use is actually a swimming pool metaphor. When you're going down in the pool and you want to come up and you can't, but you see the top of the water, you know that the best way to go up is to allow yourself to go down to the bottom, push yourself back up, touch the ground. Only when you touch the ground you can push yourself back up toward the top of the water, toward the light. You have to keep sight of the light because you know you're going to get there. But that's how you do in a pool, right? Those swimmers here know that. You go down and then you push yourself back up. And this is what I did. It worked brilliantly. But note that I never lost sight of the top. I never lost sight of the light. I knew that I was depressed, that I was allowed to feel those feelings to the core. But I knew that there was light, and I was going toward that light. Number 5, gratitude is the only force that will help you overcome darkness. So you might be asking, so how did you get up? What made you go up? Gratitude. When I was down there, all I could think was, okay, what did swimming give me? Why did I do all this? And I realized I became a very focused, disciplined person. I won a degree from an American university. I expanded my mind and learned new languages. I met amazing people and made fantastic friends in the process. There was so much. I traveled the world, right? So at the end of the day, this gratitude is what helped me go up. Number 4, everything you learn prepares you for the next step in life. Nothing is a waste. So once I finished swimming and I started to, when I became an entrepreneur, I met my husband, and we started to put Hammerhead together. Make no mistake, I needed everything that I got from swimming. I needed to be focused. I needed to be disciplined. I needed to have a plan in order to start a business. And it was the two of us. It was my husband and I starting this swimming company. So that company also, it is something that I'm very grateful for because it allows me to give back today to swimmers and help them start their dream. We sponsor swimmers all over the world with our products. And again, that is another, giving back is something so crucial and so important that the whole thing about not making to the Olympics seemed to be a distant, very distant past now. Number 3, life has your back once you give a voice to your heart. That's where happiness lies. I've learned and I grew so much from my experience only because I followed my dream. That's the only reason. Had I not followed my dream of becoming a world-class swimmer, I would have not experienced everything that I experienced and that made me who I am today, a person that I truly love. So there are really no excuses. If you want to experience happiness, you have to follow your dream, whatever that dream is. Number 2, celebrate every step. Life is not the end result. It's what happens before that. Getting to the result, to the end result, it's merely a part of the dream. That's what I realized. The Olympics, it's really a meet, a swimming competition like any other. There's no difference. And yes, when we are a swimmer, when we are an athlete, we make our whole life be in that moment. But I want to tell you this. Celebrate every moment that you go through before you get to the end result. Celebrate it. It is so important that you get that fuel to continue on and to keep going. And learn from every mistake. Learn from everything. Everything happens for a reason, and everything happens for you to become your better self. So those two things you have to keep in mind when you're going for your dreams, that every little step is a celebration. Every little mistake is a phenomenal lesson. And finally, number one, if you have a dream, it is your responsibility to make it happen, no one else's. You have to start understand that what is it that brings you passion, what it is that makes you smile, what it is that you are just dying to realize in life, and go for it. And only you can do that. And all of you have something that no one else has. And that something is your gift to the world. And you have a responsibility to put that forth. Be the protagonist of your story. Create it, envision it, and just go for it. And I think that's an idea worth spreading. Thank you.